Yes, so I have to say that this is definitely true because in secondary school, our learning style is usually towards textbooks and worksheets. However, in Poly, we have digital learning is like the norm for us. So we have online lecture notes, online tutorial worksheets.
So, why do I agree? It's because, well, here in Poly, it's more of independent learning and you have to take a lot of initiative. Like, for example, in secondary school, you get homeworks daily. But here, when you are tasked with an assignment, usually you have to submit it next week, like next tutorial. So you have to take initiative to keep your own reminders and make sure that your work don't pile up and don't leave it to the last minute.
Honestly, the transition from secondary school to Polytechnic was quite a smooth journey for me because it was already a norm for us to carry out home-based learning during my final year of secondary school because of COVID-19. And this is especially so because my course, Information Technology, focuses on computers. We literally work with computers every day. Therefore, it was quite easy for us to carry out theory and practical lessons at home. Nevertheless, there's still some differences between secondary school and polytechnics. For instance, secondary schools focuses on how well you can pick up a concept, whereas polytechnics goes beyond that.
So in my course, community development, I actually do a lot of essay writing. And the difference between secondary school and in poly is we do more in-depth research and there is more a broader lens of what I'm doing. And the best part is that I'm researching about something that I'm very passionate about.
I definitely agree because in secondary school it's quite different because the curriculum and timetable has actually been mapped out for you. Whereas in poly, I actually have to be more diligent in checking my school emails to ensure that I do not miss out on any important information such as group project deadlines, as well as test dates that I have to keep track on my own. And also transitioning from pen and paper learning to digital learning was definitely a challenge at the start because I have to get used to all the different kind of softwares available like Photoshop and Visual Studio, which I've been using for my modules as well. But I also will have to say that I'm neutral because I was also from ITE, and in terms of IT, I would say the curriculum is actually quite similar to Poly because IT actually prepared me for the industry skills and knowledge which actually is being taught in Poly as well. So when I first transitioned from ITE to Poly, it was actually quite comfortable because I was not so foreign to the curriculum that is being taught in Poly. So generally I was quite prepared as well.
I strongly agree. Students in Poly are expected to carry out self-directed learning and lecturers don't chase after late submissions. While this might sound daunting, it's actually beneficial for us because they prepare us for what lies ahead. University lecturers and workplace supervisors expect you to complete your work on time as well.
I agree. So lecturers here in Poly are really just to prepare us for the working world and they're not going to spoon feed you. But don't worry because lecturers in Poly are very kind-hearted and they will guide you along the way.
Yes, I do agree that poly tutors are way more different than secondary school teachers. So you are given a lot of freedom, and now let me emphasize what freedom actually is. So you actually have more time to review your work. Alright, you'll be having tutorials, lectures at any time. You can actually look back in the past week. Alright, so you can catch up on your own work at your own timing. So that's the really cool thing about Polytechnic. So we have this huge culture of arranging our own consultations in Polytechnic. So for example, you don't understand what was taught in a lecture, you can actually arrange a consultation online or face-to-face with your lecturer, and they will be more than happy to help you with that.
I would definitely agree for this point, and one main difference that I've encountered is definitely the teaching method. So the lecturers here, their teaching method is more on hands-on learning, which is great for me because I'm a visual learner, so that actually makes me to learn a lot more effectively.
Okay, just kidding. Agree. Okay, so for me, I do agree that lectures are quite different in poly compared to secondary school because I feel like in poly, lecturers are more like a partner to me than a lecturer. Yeah, so there was once I had to miss lessons because I volunteered to help out in a secondary school camp, and because of that, I was quite paranoid that I'm gonna miss a lot of lessons and I cannot catch up with the rest. And my lecturers were super nice and understanding to me. They told me it's fine, we will catch up with you afterwards, just go and do whatever you need to. And they also sent me all the assignments due, what are the things that I've missed on, and because it was an online lesson, they also recorded the session for me, which is something that I'm really very grateful for because I'm really very scared of missing lessons. So yeah, I'm really very grateful for that.
for this, I totally have to disagree, and that is because in tertiary school, like Poly, University, and ITE, they actually have a more stringent grading systems, which they call it cumulative grade point average, also known as CGPA for short. So how it works is that all your grades that is being accumulated during your course of study will actually be averaged out. So for example, you can't really just put all your focus and attention to O-level and just do mediocre for your mid-year exam, because your grades will definitely be affected, because as it will be averaged out throughout all your grades. That being said, every module actually has their own grading system, be it group projects, mini tests, or even exams. So students actually have to prepare themselves beforehand. So what I do to actually make sure that I stay ahead is to actually read up on the teaching plan of the module itself. Specifically, what percentage the individual assignments hold, be it the test, also the exam, and also group project. So that will actually allow me to make sure my time allocation for each wastage is being allocated wisely. This is to make sure that I have good time management and not do any last minute work that could actually affect my grades at the end.
I disagree. For my course, Information Technology, our grades are mainly decided by regular quizzes as well as a final assessment at the end of the module. Good news is, most of these tests are open book, and therefore you're tested more on your ability to pick up concepts well rather than regurgitating them. Hence, join Poly because you are interested about an industry and you want to learn more about it, not because you want to level up.
No, of course not. So for my course, Pharmaceutical Science, we actually track our learning progress through online tests as well as common tests and quizzes to ensure that we have a firm understanding of what we are learning. Other than that, it's also expected for us students to actually do our own independent learning outside of lesson time to ensure that we are on par with our classmates. Hence, there's definitely no such thing as slacking in Poly.
Yes, oh my god, loving poly life. Firstly, school doesn't start at a specific time, so you can mentally prepare yourself for school. Secondly, there's no school uniform, so you can really be comfortable in your setting. And thirdly, we have so many activities taking place all year round. So we have the sandbox events, we have, like recently we had the TEDx Youth at MP. So yeah, loving poly life.
I agree. Poly has been very flexible in terms of how I manage my time between life, work, and other commitments. And this has provided me with plenty of time and space to work on my own startup. In fact, I'm super glad that MP is a poly that embraces innovation and provides plenty of opportunities and resources for budding entrepreneurs like myself.
Yes! I love the fact that in Poly, there's actually lots of hands-on activities and also lab practicals, which allows me to do it myself, so it makes me feel like it's more fun and interesting for that lesson. And other than that, I love the fact that I don't have to wake up at a standard timing every morning. And if I'm lucky enough, there may be days that I don't even have lessons at all. So this gives me more time to recharge and also rest, study, and focus more on myself.
Agree. So first thing first, why I love Poly is I do not have to wake up early in the morning like in secondary school, because sometimes here I have classes in the afternoon or even just one class a day, which is amazing because I can have more time to rest or do my assignments or do other activities. What else do I like about Poly? I love that I don't have to wear uniforms. I'm pretty sure a lot of people like that. What else? During the holidays, like after I finish the semester, there is no holidays homework, just like in secondary school, so I can rest, do other things that I like. Lastly, what I like about Poly is definitely the experience that I can gain. So all the opportunities that's given to me, like for example here, I'm taking like personalized learning pathway. And in the future, I get to experience internships, youth expedition programs, and many more. So yeah.
Can I just say that the food here is amazing? I really love the Korean food at Food Club. Right, they have a huge variety of food to choose from, unlike secondary school in which I have very limited choices. I truly agree with this statement. I really like the fact that I am able to grow as a person. I'm able to take opportunities in Poly wherever I am. Poly education is really great because you get to learn about different people that you work with. So for example, in group projects, you get to work with people with different personalities, and for different modules you actually are good with different people most of the time. So you have to learn how to adapt, understand and comprehend what they are saying, because you'll have to eventually learn how to grow out of your miscommunications and arguments that you make with each other, and in the end you have to work with each other to get the grade that you want.
So for this, I definitely agree because before I entered into Poly, I actually had some experience and industry knowledge from my time in ITE, which have been really helpful in supporting and guiding my classmates in Poly.
Okay, so I'm at a neutral stage at this point in Poly life because I'm still in year 1, and I think that I have so much more time to grow, and I think that everybody grows at a different pace. So really waiting to get to the best version of myself, and yeah.
Well, kinda. I'm still learning through the process. Students in Poly come from different backgrounds and schools, and therefore we have to learn to embrace the differences and work styles of our peers. Yup, I'm definitely growing slowly but surely.
Yes, agree, strongly agree. I came into Poly via the Poly Foundation program, which is the PFP program. So I didn't take O levels, I came via the N level route. And initially I was so scared because I was scared like I won't be able to fit in, and then I won't be able to find the right people who I can work together with. However, my lecturers were so amazing in trying to make me comfortable with lessons and really guided me along the teaching style and the education style of Polytechnic. And by the time I entered year 1, I had a great experience making wonderful friends, and I had so many group projects with them, which was a really great experience as well. And yeah, I would do this all over again.
Yes, I'll definitely choose Poly again without a doubt. Alright, so being in community development is actually a huge privilege because I've been eyeing on it since secondary school, and thanks to the early admission exercise, I was able to secure a spot and get into the desired course.
I definitely agree because even though I was a little worried transitioning from ITE to Poly because of the workload, but thanks to my teachers and also my friends, my year 1 in Poly definitely has been very smooth sailing, and I'm really appreciative of that.
Okay, so why I choose the neutral card? Well, of course, Poly gives you great opportunities and experiences. It's really amazing. But one tip I have for sure is to keep an open mind and do adequate research. How to do that? Go to school websites, attend open houses. And when you attend open houses, look out for lecturers and really talk to them. Find out more about the courses so you really know more about the course and see if it's aligned with your interests and your passion or what you have to do in the future. Next is also talk to your ECG counselors in secondary school, and that's what I did, and I find that really helpful, especially if you do not know where you want to go, you don't know what course you're interested in. And talk to your seniors. I talked to so many seniors. I talked to my siblings. Because they have went through it, so they have their own personal experience and they can share with you their struggles and what was good, what was bad. But of course, at the end of the day, follow your heart because it is your future.